Hi guys, here's my 1964 Airstream Overlander. I'm going to do a quick little outside and inside tour to show it off. Painted these tanks gray several years ago just to make it look a little better. You can see there's a few scratches on it. New plates several years ago. It's had a little polishing done on it several times. Actually, I've had it for about 7 years. You can see there's a few bumps on the belly pan here. These are old antenna locations patched over. Over time, these have been replaced. You can see a little dirt on here right now. This Overlander, actually, this is years ago. Someone patched up. On a lot of Overlanders, there's two windows here, and someone decided to take out the gaucho and put in a table dinette, and so on either side you'll see these patched, which is kind of interesting. Same with, they took out the original heater. But over time, a lot of this stuff's been replaced. Little hood vent right there, etc. I did find these powder coated rims to hold the old hubcaps. They came off a different Airstream. This one came with split rims, but this has one piece powder coated original rims, and those are the original hubcaps. They do have a little bit of pitting on them. These tires were bought brand new. They're the 7x15s, I believe is what it is. Yokohamas. They're about 5 years old. They're still in really good shape. I created this little water heater, electrical water entry deal, and I did replace this water heater. It's been in this trailer for about 5 years now. But just created these little tabs to hold that closed. Here's a little blemish on the skin right here. It's pretty small. You can see my hand. But overall, the skin's in pretty decent shape, as you can see. Someone, I think, made that cover for the air conditioner. It still works, so I haven't bothered with replacing it. I did swap out the shared tank in the back, which I'll kind of shoot it from the inside. The lights have been replaced. A lot of this stuff has been kind of worked on. Back to this side, I did take off that cover when I replaced the tank. Let's see if I can get that. You can see modern fitting right here. Got some sensors on it which relate to inside. But I did swap out that whole tank. I actually replaced this whole rear floor section under there and epoxied it and reattached it several years ago. Replaced several of these hatches, remade those. That one was missing, and one of these other ones was missing. Same thing over here. And it has these little wheel locks that come with it. So good functional Airstream. So this, I was actually bringing it back from Florida, and this door and a door actually flew off. So this is actually, I bought this off a different one. But it's kind of the beauty of Airstream. Sometimes you have to make it work. But rebucked all this. That's why it flew off, is because they were loose, and kind of worked through a lot of that stuff so it wouldn't come off. I'll take you inside. Trailer. So it's still, the door and a door is the popular thing of these 1960s models. I put a plywood floor in, just to kind of change up the look. It had some stick tiles underneath, and I didn't want that. The cabinetry is definitely aging. I kind of focused on a functional trailer. The axles have been swapped out, water heater, electrical stuff like that. And I just kind of made it usable in here. These are 12-volt lights. All the lighting runs off of 12 volt. This has been replaced. I replaced it, the little skylight here. This is the heat now for the little propane heater. Stove. Usable condition, a little dirty. This countertop was replaced, I guess the same time I replaced this countertop. And put in a different sink and a kitchen faucet. You know, the water, this is on city water right now, but it works well. Put the fridge in over here. So this is kind of built in. It's a Dometic fridge, gas 12 volt scenario right here, 110, and it seems to work pretty well. Got that vented out here. There was a shorter one in here, and so kind of built this cabinet out and modified it so I could have this larger fridge. Just different little cabinetry. You can see it's just original cabinetry in serviceable shape. You know, it's usable. Good portion of the windows open. I actually have all new cranks. I've rebuilt one of these windows. In fact, the one in the back is the operating system's rebuilt. Several of these still need to be rebuilt. I've never opened all the windows at one time, but I do have actually all the operators for it. So this one is the twin bed scenario. There's actually two bunks I have. They're not painted green, they're still the old wood, but they clip in right here and fasten. There's two things on each side. Great for kids. And I still actually have those bunks. They just run across the window, so I kept them out for myself. Bathroom, I took this bathroom out of a different trailer actually. This one had a broken down one in here, real bad broken down, and sprayed a white gel coat on it. And so shower works, got this little track right here. Changed out the toilet, so it's a little different. A lot of times you see a solid cover on. I just put this instead of a solid thing, but it has the foot pedal, so you can just slide your foot under there. You can actually see the replacement floor in the back and the end of this floor right here. But it seemed to function really well. Here's a fantastic fan right here, wired in. You know, I just put 12 volt lights everywhere. Here, it's got a modern electrical panel, 12 volt, 110 scenario. The water heater is under that. A few other little storage areas. I wired in that there's two golf cart batteries down there. In this closet. Also, here's the tank scenario. I don't have everything on it, but the black you can see is empty. The batteries are full. I had never hooked up the sensors to the fresh, and it doesn't have a gray tank. But it also turns on the water pump right here, which it's fully pressurized. I think I can sneak in here and show. Oh, you know what? Let's see if I can. Water pumps under. Well, you can't see it. It has a nice 12 volt newer water pump in it. When I did that kind of work in here. So that's it. Original holding tank, water holding tank is under this bed. And there you have it. You know, it's a functional trailer. Painted white interior. Never got this vent working. It's just kind of hanging out here, right here. But you know, it's a nice trailer that's had a lot of upgrades to it as far as axles and water heater and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's ready for a new little life. Thank you guys.